We're Rachel and Kayla from Small Towns and City Lights. And I guess to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your background, kind of your big break, and what got you on the radar to the masses?
Yeah, sure. I came from town, Missouri, southeast down the Boot Hill. Grew up there until I was 18, and right on the brink of turning 19, I decided I was going to take on music full time. So I ditched everything that I had in my plans, college, everything, and moved to Nashville. Begged for a gig, lived in my car for a few days, several days, a few weeks actually. Begged for a gig the first night, and finally got on stage to play one song, and it broke me through the door, and I had a gig starting the next morning at Tootsie's downtown, Little Broad. And I played there for the next year, 4 sets a day, 4 hours apiece, 7 days a week. And
Wow.
and I got discovered there. I got my first publishing deal as a writer out of there, and got offered several record deals. Didn't take any right off the bat, and my journey kind of started there. And so 7.5 years later, I think it's my 8th year now in town, and
Wow.
it's all popular.
Well, I'm sorry. I noticed that you said that. Do you have a way of knowing, like you said you got a couple record deals, but you didn't take them at first? How do you know which one to go for? Is it just like an instinct or a feeling?
Yeah, I mean, my instincts have been bad sometimes too over the years. I mean, maybe not bad, just not the, maybe rushing a little bit every now and again. But I had several offers right off the bat, and when I got my first pub deal, and got a little buzz going, and just nothing ever would line up. The labels would fold before I would get signed, or we'd get a deal in the works, negotiations, and then something would fall through, and that was kind of the story of my life, and I just floated around town forever trying to get something going on, and just working, and several artists took me on tour with them, Leonard Skinner, Hank Jr., and a lot of people took me on tour with them, and gave me breaks here and there, so I always had work, but I always just wanted the record deal, and man, the right one just kind of fell into my lap this past year, bigger picture, and here we are.
So we read that you had done some songwriting with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, my first song actually.
How was that experience?
It was good. It's good. I was working with a guy named Trey Bruce out of Nashville at the time. He signed me my first publishing deal, Chris Janson. It was great. I mean, long story short, it was awesome. It was everything you think it would be.
And so you moved from Missouri to Nashville.
Yeah.
Why country? Why not rock or any other genre?
I just love country music. I mean, I'm a country guy. I grew up so white trash, you have no idea. And my roots run deep in country music. It's all I ever. I mean, even when I was just playing as a hobby around town as a kid, it was always. I mean, I was playing all kinds of different music, but country was what I loved, what I wanted to play, and so that's what I'm doing.
Well, Better I Don't is all over the radio now.
Yeah.
We're big fans.
I was
going to
say our favorite right now.
Rock along to
Thank
it
you
all
very
the
much.
time.
Thank you.
So how is that for you? You get in the car, you turn on the radio, and your voice is, going through the stereo.
It's a huge blessing. It really is. Bottom line, I mean, it's a big blessing, and I'm so thankful for it. And words really can't describe it. I mean, it's just, it's putting food on my family's table, and I'm thankful for that.
So what's next for you? What are the plans? Do you feel pressure now that you have this huge song on the radio that the next one has to be just as good? Or?
No, I mean, I got into this about the songs, about the music. Actually, I didn't. I got into this to be a famous singer. I later found out when I grew up that it was more about the songs and the nuts and bolts of putting the mechanics together. I don't worry about a thing. I'm just happy to be alive every day.
Yes.
I'm a Christian. I'm thankful to Jesus. I got a great wife, great kids, and I have a great support group around me with my friends at Country Radio and CMT and GAC and everywhere else, and my fans. Man, I feel like I got a good thing going.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm thankful for it. I'm humbled by it, and I just take everything day by day. You never really know what tomorrow's going to bring. Hopefully, it's good.
And how is your family dealing with your skyrocketing to the radio now, and everyone's recognizing you?
I mean, my wife goes everywhere with me. There's rarely a time when we're not together, and same with my kids. I mean, they go when they want to go. They kind of do what they want to do, and a lot of times they've got extracurricular stuff going on, but it's great, man. We do it. It's a family affair. We do it together, or we don't do it at all.
That's awesome.
Big musical family?
No, not really. I have, most people call them step kids. I call them bonus kids. My 2 bonus kids can sing their butts off, and my youngest one can sing her butt off too. But none of them really care about it. I guess
Yeah.
my middle daughter really probably would if we pushed her to do it. But man, she's really into cheerleading now. I don't really come from a musical family at all. My wife she's in the music business, but not musical instrumentalist or anything. And I'm really the only one.
So back to Better I Don't real quick.
Sure.
You wrote it.
Yeah, with
What's,
Kelly.
What's
my
the
wife.
story behind that one?
Well, I wrote it with
Is
my
there-
wife, and it's a true story. We do everything together. I mean, we wrote
That
the song
makes me
together.
love the song even more.
Well, we did. We wrote it together. She was, she just kind of inspired me and coaxed me into just telling stories about my past, and so that's what we did. It's a true song.
And how is that process? I mean, is
Easy.
it all, you sit down and it all comes out, or is it just little bits and pieces? And
For me, when I write a song, if I can't just write it right then, I'm just not interested in doing it. I'm not one of these guys who starts something and comes back to it 6 months later. It's not good enough to write right then. In my opinion, it's not worth writing.
Yeah, and I see that you wrote a song for Tim McGraw, Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you could write a song for anyone or collaborate at all with any other country, or not even just country, anyone, any other artist, who would it be?
That's interesting. Actually, the guy who before he cut I'm going to tell you, the other guy recorded my song too. Before he cut it, I wanted to collaborate with him, and I was really dying for a Justin Moore cut, and so I got one. It's his new record's coming out, and it's the title track to the record.
Oh,
It's called Off the Beaten Path. So
yes, I know
couldn't
that.
have asked for a better song
Yeah.
to be recorded. I mean, he named his freaking album after it, so it's like really big for me. I mean, I'm serious. Like people have asked me that a million times. Like, who would you like to have a song recorded by? Justin Moore, man. I'm his biggest fan, and then it just happened.
Now, if you could tour with anyone, living or dead, aside from Justin Moore,
Yeah.
who would it be?
I've toured with my top 3 favorite bands.
Really?
Yeah, consecutively. Leonard Skinner, Hank Williams Jr., and Merle Haggard. I've toured with them all.
That is incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so those were my bucket list ones, I guess, if I had any. Man, if I could tour with anybody, it would probably be Jerry Lee Lewis in his prime when he was. I'd still do it now, but it's like back in the '50s when he was really rocking it, on Sun Records and the whole deal. Jerry Lee Lewis, no doubt.
Very cool. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so then now what should people expect from you in the next few months? Do you have any big end of summer type things?
Yeah, I do. I'm finishing my record in 2 weeks.
Is there a release date?
No release date
No?
yet, but
Okay,
it'll be
soon.
announced. It'll be announced when it's time.
Coming soon.
Yeah, it
excited
is. It's
for
coming
it.
soon, and it's gonna be good. I'm excited about it. So, Better I Don't lead off of it. There'll be several other singles, I'm sure, off of the
I was
record.
gonna say that was a
You're
good
off
one.
to a great start.
Yeah.
Thanks.
so-
Well, we're just blessed, man. I'm just
Yeah.
happy to be a part of it. That's all.
Very cool.